Oh, here again, I try again. I was making a video and for some reason, I don't know when I touched something, but it stopped recording. This is a Vidor radio from 1954. It's a battery valve radio. It's got medium and long wave. And there is radio 4. And the noise in the background, that noise, buzzing noise, believe it or not, it's my central heating boiler. I couldn't understand why I was getting that noise every so often, and then when I turned the boiler off I found it was that. So if you've got a Valiant boiler, a Valiant Eco boiler, and you've got an old radio, turn the thing off when you use the radio. But if you look at the condition of the case, I'm going to be honest with you, it's in virtually mint condition. It's that good, it's the best I've seen for one of these wet-on covered things, and it's got a spring-loaded pull-up handle. Now apparently these always get broken, so I was told. I got this off a 78-year-old man on eBay who actually rang me up because I said the dial cord had come dislodged. And he said, I'm sorry about it, it was fine when I sent it. What had actually happened, it was slack, so bumping around made it fall off. All I done was put it back. I haven't done a dial cord in 20 years, I put it back and I decided to shorten the spring slightly and stretch the spring. If I do decide to restring it at some point, well, that knob is going to be a problem to get that off now. The way to take knobs off is a very thin bootlace or string. Wrap it round behind the knob and pull it. Don't leave it out with a screwdriver, because if you do you break them. This is probably what's happened to that one. This is what I tell people when you take knobs off. Piece of string behind and then get a bit there and a bit there and pull, so you're pulling both sides of the knob. If you lift just one side, what you're doing is tearing it off, a tearing motion off the shaft, and then you're going to break it. What I'm going to do now is undo the back, and if you have a look, I'm just going to, excuse the video a minute. Oh no, I've got a job to work out how to get it off. Yeah, just bear in mind that. Let's take off. This back set obviously works on batteries as well as mains, so what I'm going to do now is show you what it's like on the inside. It contains a ferrous oxide rectifier. Now, normally, or it could be selenium, but a lot of people say change those, they're faulty, but it's perfectly fine. And I'm getting the 90 volts, I'm getting the LT, so it's not worth changing something if it's working. I'm a great believer if something works is to leave it alone. Once you start making something not original. The switch there is for changing it from battery, and those that are pushed into that wood, there's holes drilled for that to stop it touching. They're pushed in. They're the battery terminals, and it obviously looks like it takes one big battery with two plugs on it. It could be two batteries. Yes, it's a 7.5 volt battery, and it takes a 90 volt battery, according to that. The valves that it uses is a DL94, a DAF91, a DF91 and a DK92. That will date it as an early set, because it was only two sets that had these valves. This early valve set, and guess what? I've got the pair. There was one made before this, which was made in 1950, which I have, and this one. The case does get warm on this top piece due to that mains dropper, which has got all the wires on. That produces 90 volts. It also produces the heater voltage. Not quite sure how it all works, but there's quite a lot of wires to that mains dropper. I don't know why there's so many wires on it. Oh yes, it's because it's got a voltage selector. Set on 250 at the moment. And it's got a good set of valves then. The whiting's rubbed off them. I don't know why, because they look like new valves. So they were just cleaned in a tub, which is stupid, because if you take the valves out, do you know where they're going? In fact, I do, because I'll tell you why. Because I know what a valve looks like without the number on it. I can usually tell a valve. There's only two I wouldn't know, and that's the heptode and the pentode. If I got those the wrong way around, it just wouldn't work. So I would just change them round. But the DAF 91, I would know what that was, and I'd certainly know what the DL94 was, because it's the one with the pentode that's got the ribs on the plate. So I'd know those two, and I'd just be left with the other two. And the tuning valve here, it's got 2 0 marks on it, so I would know that that was the one through that. The demodulator valve has got a metal screen around it with an earth wire, so I would know not to touch that. I'm getting a couple of spare set of valves for it, and they're not easy to get, the DK92 and the DL94, and they're quite scarce. The other two, the DIF91 and the DF91, I seem to be able to get quite a lot. There's quite a lot of those. But anyway, it says on the instructions here, Vidor CN431, AC/DC battery portable radio. That wants sticking down, that label, because I don't want that going awry. This is the clamp holder battery, and so it took 2 batteries. I thought it only took 1 battery, but according to this, it's 2 different catalogue numbers, and it looks as though it's all in good condition. It says it was made Vidor Erith Kent, and then it says Vidor Dundee, so I don't know. I thought Kent was in England, but maybe there's more than one. But that's a little look in the radio. And what I had to do with this, I had to take the chassis out, restring the dial, and resolder the transformer wires on the speaker there, because what happened, they're very dirty cores on the wires, and it had been soldered but poorly, and what it needed is to be fluxed, and I'm glad I bought that tin of flux. It's got a Polish name on it, it's got flux in Polish on it, but it works fine, and I would not have been able to solder those wires without that flux, and even now it was very hard to get them to take due to the dirtiness of the conductors. In fact, I could have changed those wires, but I didn't. And there's 2 plugs. Obviously, they fit down into the wood board here. There's 2 drillings, and they push in. It has an internal frame aerial. Don't touch that mains dropper. I don't want to get a shock. And the back cover goes up with those connectors in. So what happens is you lift the lid, the wire goes into a cutout on the case in the back, like that, and then what you do, just excuse the camera, you screw these sort of thumb screws in. I'll let you have a look when I got them in there. I believe in not over tightening things, just tighten it up finger tight, don't overdo things, and those thumb screws then hold it together. Rubber feet on the bottom, and they're not perish, so as I say, this is a lovely radio, and I really like it. It's a sort of deco style. It's 14.5, 13.5 on the top, 14.5 on the bottom. It's sort of sloping, and as you can see, it's got the pull-up spring-loaded handle, which is, that in itself is rare. The white stuff is not bakelite, it's urea formaldehyde, a kind of plastic. It breaks very easily and chips very easily. So when you have a look, to get this in good working order without any breakage is rare in itself. I have seen another one for sale on eBay that's scrap, but the guy said, I'm not going to send it, I want people to pick it up, otherwise I'd have it for the knobs, because that knob is broken. I will take that back off again and put a better knob on it. Unfortunately, it wasn't on eBay when I looked. I would have said, send me the valves, send me the knobs, and I don't want the radio. And I would have given him that £12 watt just for the knobs and the valves. But anyway, the radio, I'd never turn my radios off by the volume switch, because those pots are getting rare, and every time you turn them off you wear the beginning of the track. So what I do is I just switch it off on the main switch. It's still switching the switch. So that's a bit about the Vidor battery mains. So battery mains was really all started in the 50s, just after the Second World War. I got the brown one, which I believe the Hitachi one, the one before this. There was another one of these before that, but there was a couple of Hitachi ones, and that's coming in the next couple of days off the same guy. What had happened, he collects radios, he's a radio amateur, was selling this on eBay, and he had another one, a Hitachi case one, that lid opens. I said, I'll have that as well, so I got a bit off it. And this really is a really nice deco style. It really is in good condition. And not sure whether I'll probably keep it on here with a cloth on, because I like to listen to have more than one radio in here. So as we say in amateur radio language, 73, it means we're going. So I say the waxing's in good nick. There's one or two small little marks on it, but there's no tears, no wear on the corners. It's really quite, I'm surprised at the condition of it. And the other one's even better. It's got chrome fittings on and they're not even rusty. And this guy was a collector, so he only bought stuff that was in good condition. And there was only two things wrong with this: that knob, which I've sorted, and the dial cord. It even had new wax paper changed capacitors in there, so it's even had the condensers changed in it, so I don't need to do anything with it really. Anyway, bye bye, hope to catch you again soon. From the house of the NUTT-HOUSE, and I hope you enjoy that beautiful Art Deco green radio from 1954.